Good afternoon and welcome to our first discussion on the Pargo Improvement Program. Today's agenda, we're going to go over the overview of the overall process and the need for the process. We're going to talk about the background. We're going to talk about what our strategic goal is. We're going to review our strategy map. We're going to talk about how we're going to communicate the strategy to all the stakeholders. We're going to talk about implementation. We'll talk about feedback. And lastly, we'll talk about measurement. The background, the Pargos are too personalized. They have individual owners who have customized the machines for their own use, and they're not convenient for others to use when those personnel are not there. There's no accountability for the inventory. The Pargos are not job specific. The current arrangement, they have no flexibility. And what I mean by that is currently the Pargos can only be used by one individual and one individual only. I couldn't assign another technician to another Pargo. And the good thing is Pargos are typically already resort specific, so that way we can assign a unit to Saratoga Springs. It's already in Saratoga Springs, and we can put a technician, whoever that may be, in that Pargo to go work in that area. The bad thing is there's no standard inventory. And we have high resolution rates and high response rates. Our typical resolution rate is our typical response time is 11 minutes. Our typical resolution rate should be 45 minutes. The strategic goal of these are having the Pargos outfitted with a job-specific and resort-specific inventory items. In other words, if a cast member is a room caller, then they have room caller items on the Pargo that are outfitted to address a guest need for specific tasks: plunging toilets, changing toilet seats, unclogging drains, replacing receptacle covers, switch covers, and any things of those natures. The other function would be as a preventative maintenance technician, setting a Pargo up with all the filters and other items that we need for the rooms as we go through our preventative maintenance. The other thing we want to do is we want to work with our inventory partners for each Pargo, and we want to restock on a continual basis, have the warehouse personnel take inventory of the items that are missing and then issue packages to the cast members as they come in the afternoon to restock their Pargo. Now, some of these actions we're going to use will help us lower the cost of maintenance, will increase the room availability, and improve the call resolution times. The Pargo strategy map, we talk about learning and growth. We want to promote employee development. We want to improve our guest experience. That's the most important piece. But we also want to develop our technical skills, and we want to develop a culture of efficiency. We're going to focus on 3 of the 4 keys for Disney. We're going to talk about safety because we have multiple use vehicles. We want to have less time for traveling. When we have technicians on the road, it opens us up for more accidents and more incidents. We also want to have more than one operator per Pargo, and we want to use multiple inspections of our equipment. For show, we want to make sure our rooms are better maintained. We want to have negative guest interactions. We want to standardize our materials list, and we want to have the same color lights in every room. And I say that because typically when they change lights, they don't have the same color because inventory is not standard. And then we want to have better maintained assets overall. Efficiency, we want our technicians to be on location more and not traveling from our shop back to location. For Key West, it's about a 30-minute round trip, which is a huge waste of time. We want to have a better use of our time for maintaining our assets, and we want to have standard inventory per vehicle, and we want to have our jobs assigned by vehicle. That's going to help improve our customer service in our response rate. We'll have a fully functioning room when the guest arrives, so when the guest arrives, we're not getting service calls because there's something in the room that's not working correctly. And overall, that'll give us a better guest experience. Our financial goals will be a lower inventory cost. We'll have a more efficient use of our labor so we can actually get more work done in the time required. We'll have less room compensation or revenue loss, and we'll have improved resolution rates, which will also help us lower our cost per room night. Our communication plan is going to consist of face-to-face meetings with our PM people, our room callers, and inventory personnel. In these meetings, we will discuss the plan overall. We'll talk about issues and items that could come up as a part of this implementation process. We'll have an email to follow up the communication with all the other stakeholders, and then conference queue calls will be used for our resort personnel and any other people that are remotely located, such as our central inventory management people who are on the other side of the property. We're going to use feedback for process improvement, and we're going to train all our personnel. Our implementation will be during a Pargo maintenance. We typically send our Pargos in for maintenance every 6 months. So as we send a Pargo off for maintenance, before it comes back, we'll have it converted. We're going to put a new rack system in that's designed for PM-specific material and or room call material. The Pargo will be returned to service and then designated as either a preventative maintenance Pargo or a room call Pargo. And then it can be assigned to any technician to go to that resort. We'll have daily spot checks. We'll conduct daily spot checks to verify our accuracy. The inventory will actually be fully counted once a week and verified, and then we'll also be able to adjust our minimums and maximum in our warehouse. Feedback is we're going to use a weekly usage report to track high use items so we can adjust. That'll help us with our min-max. Our engineering personnel will provide feedback on missing items, the things that they need or things that help them do their job better. Guest feedback. We're going to share our guest feedback with our team, something that's not currently happening is feedback that the guests give us, positive and negative. We want to be able to share that with our team. We'll have face-to-face meetings again with all the stakeholders to understand the challenges and implement improvements. Measurement. For measurement, we're going to use our warehouse to track the use of high-cost items. We're going to look at our response and resolution rates and see if we've made any improvements, especially our resolution rate. Our response rate's pretty good, but our resolution rate's really not pretty typical. We're going to look at guest compensation reports for maintenance issues, and those will be the key ones. So the goal of the plan is to improve guest experience while lowering costs and improving resolution times, and we're going to be designating the Pargos as job functions. Thank you for your time.